Hey everybody, Danny Greco, Keller Williams here. I've got statistics for Seattle condo market, and we'll also look a little bit into the East Side and King County in general. This is for February 2021. So here we go, looking right at it. So looking at Seattle, and this is specifically where a lot of the condo inventory I focus on is, because frankly there's just more condos in Seattle since it's kind of built for that. So the market, or the condo market, really has been a little good with kind of a little more bad and a little kind of in between. So it's a little bit been a little tough to read. In the month of February, again, the main issue with condos, especially in Seattle, is just supply, and we still are at 84% more condos on the market than there were in February of 2020. That's just not good for sellers looking to capitalize on equity, looking to sell quickly, that sort of a thing. Now, the good news is that amount of inventory is significantly less than what it was a month ago. So about a month ago, we were at 3.25 months of inventory. Actually, I'm sorry, about 3.5 months of inventory. In February, in January, 3.5 months of inventory. By February, that was cut down to 2.75 months. So a pretty big drop, which is a little unusual because typically January always reflects the bottom of the market in terms of inventory, and we really just kind of go up from there. So it's interesting to see a drop, let alone that significant of a drop, month over month. And I'll talk a little bit more about another positive sign that kind of leads into here in a second. So year over year sales, pretty flat. The year over year median sale price did increase about 5% to $475,000. That was still about a $20,000 drop month over month, but year over year, that's a positive side. The East Side and King County, really pretty flat there. Not too many changes, with the exception of the East Side, where the median sale price of a condo was 22% more year over year. And I'm starting to see this a lot with the East Side. There are a lot of fluctuations in that median price month over month. It could be anywhere from the mid 400s to the mid 5s to 6 month over month. There's a lot of fluctuation when it comes to that. So I'm kind of curious how that is. I'm not 100% sure, but those levels of inventory, much different game. I mean, about a month in Bellevue, or I'm sorry, on the East Side, which includes Bellevue, Kirkland, Redmond, those cities, and King County overall, just about 1.5 months. So again, it's really that Seattle market, specifically that downtown core market, which is really kind of bringing things down for the rest of it. Now, on that topic, the Seattle downtown market is at its lowest levels there have been in a while, just a little under 4 months of inventory. Now, I remember when a few months ago, this number was at 8 months of inventory. So within maybe the last 90, 120 days, that has decreased by half, which if we're gonna start to see any kind of rebound, that supply has to dry up. So perhaps a positive thing on the horizon there for sellers, but we'll see how long that can continue. The other good news I alluded to earlier is the buyer activity, the rate at which I measure buyer activity, is continuing to get stronger. It's stronger than what it was last month. It's at the only other time in the last 12 months it was higher than this was of March of last year. So again, these are numbers which side by side compared to the single family market are kind of a joke. I mean, it's really about half of what the single family market is, but in context, it's still an improvement from where the condo market has been much of the last 12 months. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with that buyer activity figure, because typically that stays pretty strong through about April or so, and then we see that decline like we do in the single family market to begin in May, and as inventory and that sort of thing catches up. So overall, condo Seattle market, some good news, some not so great news, but it really seems over the past month or so that there's been this evening out. It's the bad news is kind of decreasing, the good news is kind of starting to even out a little bit. So we'll see if that's the case. I know anecdotally, I've relisted 2 condos that I had listed at the end of the last 3 or 4 months of 2020 that sat and didn't get any offers. We relisted them in January, and they both sold within 2 or 3 weeks. So maybe anecdotally, that's representative of what's going on with the overall market. Who knows? So we'll continue to monitor a lot of these figures here. So stay tuned and see what happens up next month.